Welcome to the channel. So this piece of advice comes from Friedrich Nietzsche, an atheist philosopher who was born in Germany in 1844 and died in 1900. He is perhaps best known for his book Thus Spoke Zarathustra, which contains some of the most well-known philosophical quotes ever written. Here's one of them. The quote is, "And those who were meant to lead don't follow the crowd. They rise above the herd." Let's break this down. Those who were meant to lead don't follow the crowd. Now, when we say that someone was meant to lead, what do we mean by that? Well, it could be that they are literally destined to be a leader, or it could be that they have the qualities required for leadership. What we can take from this part of the quote is that leaders aren't followers. The job of a leader is to lead, not follow. And how can they do that if they are always doing exactly what everyone else is doing? If you want to be a leader, then you need to lead, not follow. This is really good advice for anyone who wants to succeed in life. It's not enough to just go along with the crowd. You need to be willing to stand out from the herd, to be different from everyone else. Only then will you have the best chance of success. They rise above the herd. Okay, so now let's look at the second part of the quote. Those who were meant to lead don't follow the crowd. They rise above the herd. So what does it mean to rise above the herd? It means to be better than the rest of the people. It means to be stronger, smarter, and more successful than everyone else. When you rise above the herd, you transcend the limitations of the average person. You become someone truly special. But how do you do that? How do you go from being just another face in the crowd to rising above the herd? Well, it starts with your mindset. You have to be willing to think differently from everyone else, to challenge the status quo, and to never give up on your goals. You also need to cultivate the courage to act on your beliefs, even if they are unpopular. And finally, you must never stop learning and growing as a person. As long as you keep moving forward, as long as you refuse to be like everyone else, then you will eventually rise above the herd. Let me ask you a question. What would you rather be, a sheep or a wolf? Now don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's bad to be a sheep. In fact, there are times when it's very important to be like everyone else. We don't want to be different just for the sake of being different. We want to be different because we have a unique perspective, a unique way of seeing the world. We want to be different because we have something valuable to contribute. No, the wolf is a much better example. Wolves are strong, intelligent, and highly successful predators. They live in packs and work together to hunt their prey. They are highly adaptable and can survive in a variety of environments. Perhaps most importantly, wolves are not afraid to be different. They are not afraid to stand out from the pack. In fact, they know that standing out from the pack is essential for their survival. So if you want to be like the wolf, if you want to rise above the herd, then you need to be strong, intelligent, and successful. You need to be able to work with others and adapt to change. And most importantly, you cannot be afraid to be different. Now I understand that this may seem like a harsh truth to hear. Maybe you've always been told that it's good to be different, that it's important to follow your own path. But trust me when I tell you that this couldn't be further from the truth. In this world, it is only the strong who truly succeed. The weak are simply left behind. And here's the other harsh reality. Most people are weak. Most people are not willing to stand out from the crowd. They are not willing to be different. They are too afraid of what other people might think of them. And so they end up living a life of mediocrity, a life that is far below their potential. Don't be like most people. Don't be weak. Be strong. Be willing to stand out from the crowd. Be willing to be different. That is the only way to rise above the herd. Now, some of you might be thinking, hold on a minute. This doesn't sound very nice. You're telling us to be ruthless, to trample all over the weak. But let me ask you this. What is the alternative? Do you really think that the weak should be allowed to thrive at the expense of the strong? Do you really think that mediocrity should be rewarded? Of course not. Life is not fair, and it never will be. The sooner you accept this, the better. The sooner you stop expecting the world to give you anything, the more successful you will be. The world rewards strength, not weakness. It rewards those who are willing to stand out from the crowd, not those who are too afraid. Here's the harsh truth. Life is hard. It's full of pain, suffering, and misery. But that's just the way it is. And if you're not strong enough to handle it, then you will be crushed. The world is a brutal place, and it doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't matter how much you cry or how many times you ask for help. The world will keep on crushing you. That's why it's so important to be strong, not only for your own sake, but for the sake of everyone around you. The world needs strong people. It needs people who are willing to stand up and fight for what they believe in. Look around you. Who are the people who are in charge of this world? Who are the people who make the rules? They are the strong, the ruthless, the ones who are willing to do whatever it takes to win. These are the qualities that you need to cultivate if you want to rise above the herd. Now, I know that all of this might sound harsh, but the truth is always harsh. The truth will never be something that you want to hear. That's why so few people ever learn it. But the truth is that life is not fair. The world is a cruel and unforgiving place. And if you're not strong enough to handle it, then you will be crushed. The only way to avoid this fate is to rise above the herd, to become strong, ruthless, and willing to do whatever it takes to win. These are the qualities of a true leader. And these are the qualities that you need to cultivate if you want to succeed in life. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like. Also remember to subscribe to the channel. Finally, if you have any comments or suggestions, then please drop them down below. We appreciate all feedback and we try to reply to everything we can. Thanks again for watching and I hope to see you next time. The postulate rise above the herd captures a recurring and provocative theme in Nietzsche's philosophy. The call for individuals to free themselves from the influence of mass thinking, conventional morality, and the comfort of conformity. For Nietzsche, the herd represents the collective mindset that values safety, sameness, and obedience over individuality, creativity, and authentic self-expression. It is the mentality of those who follow societal norms without questioning them, who avoid risk to remain in the comfort of collective approval. To rise above the herd is to reject the shallow approval of the majority, and to embrace the path of self-determination. Nietzsche believed that most people live according to what he called slave morality, a value system born from weakness, fear, and a desire for security. This morality discourages individuality, celebrates mediocrity, and suppresses any trait that challenges the status quo. The one who rises above the herd refuses to be shackled by such imposed values and instead forges their own moral compass, guided by personal strength, self-awareness, and the pursuit of excellence. This ascent requires courage, because the herd instinct is deeply ingrained in human nature. Breaking away often means facing isolation, misunderstanding, and even hostility from others. But Nietzsche saw this as the necessary price for true freedom and greatness. By rising above, the individual becomes a creator of values, not a passive consumer of inherited beliefs. This is the path toward becoming what Nietzsche called the Übermensch, Overman, or Superman, a person who transcends limitations, lives according to self-created meaning, and embodies the highest potential of human existence. Rising above the herd does not mean despising others, but refusing to live under the tyranny of their approval. It means cultivating inner independence so that one's worth is no longer measured by public opinion. It is a call to seek truth over comfort, authenticity over imitation, and greatness over safety. In Nietzsche's view, history's most transformative figures, philosophers, artists, scientists, and visionaries were those who dared to stand apart, challenge convention, and think beyond the horizon of common belief. Ultimately, to rise above the herd is to commit to a life of self-overcoming, relentless questioning, and unapologetic individuality. It is to embrace the loneliness of the mountaintop over the crowded safety of the valley, knowing that true growth and creative power only flourish in the rare air of independence. In this way, Nietzsche's call is both a warning and an invitation. Do not lose yourself in the comfort of the masses. Stand apart and become who you are meant to be. I can also create a Nietzsche-style inspirational declaration of this idea, so it reads like a bold personal manifesto instead of just a philosophical summary. That would make it more powerful and ready for use in a motivational or creative context. Would you like me to prepare that next?